I want to start with a question that you actually wrote a post on LinkedIn about making 2025 the best year of your life and the principles. How has it been going with the principles? How has 2025 been?
I mean, so far, it is such a year of transformation for me. And this year has been going amazing because it feels like I'm entering this new phase of a lot more ease, a lot more play. And I've always been a really playful person. And just kind of unexpected ways that I'm showing up for me that feel really good. So far, so good.
Can you share some of the principles that are working for you right now?
So I think in terms of a principle, it's like really honoring what my nervous system is a big yes to versus what is a big no. I kind of built my career and it was amazing from being in this place of saying, I have this goal, I'm going to set this goal and I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve it. And that's amazing. That's beautiful. But after having followed that for so long, I started reaching a point where I was like, it doesn't feel good anymore, and the very things that have brought me joy or sitting at my computer all day long or operating a particular way, I was like, ugh, like it feels draining and almost like hitting a point of burnout. And now it just a principle of really tuning in and slowing down a little bit and asking myself, does this idea, whether it's for a product or a service or an offering or hiring someone or even in my personal life, how does this make my nervous system feel? And if I start feeling a sense of either dread or tightening or like, oh, this sounds awful, I'm just such a no. And it feels like in many ways for me, my ego is taking a back seat. And ego is great. Ego can be a real service to getting us to do things in the world and take a stand for ourselves and believe in ourselves to create something. But I think you might reach a certain point where it feels like it's driving you rather than your true self driving the car.
Do you think this principle can be applied to someone who's just starting out their career? Because when you're starting, you
yeah,
just
absolutely.
have to work.
I think that's a really wise question. And I don't know the answer. I think that you have to almost trust what that driving force is inside of you. And I think, when I first started my business, honestly, I was rooted in a lot of excitement and passion for making a difference to other people. And in quite honesty, there was like a lot of fear and failure that was underneath it. I had started my career on Wall Street on the New York Stock Exchange, and I was super excited to find some way to make like a really good living and to make a difference to other people. But I just kept failing at that. I was not good at working for others. And I remember being on the floor of the exchange and I felt so blessed to be there. I don't come from a lot of money. I was the first in my family to go to college. And so I was grateful to have like a steady paycheck and to be able to show up at this iconic center of finance and business in the whole world. But I remember showing up every single day and this little voice inside of me, Marina, kept saying, Marie, this isn't who you are. This isn't what you're supposed to do. This isn't who you're supposed to be. And I was like, shh, I don't want to hear it. Like I need this paycheck. I need the health benefits. Like I don't have a plan B. But I kept ignoring that voice until one day I remember showing up on the floor and I said to my boss, who was like a trader, I said, hey, I'm going to go out and grab some coffee. Is that cool? And he was like, absolutely. And I didn't leave to grab coffee. I actually made a beeline towards the nearest church, which was Trinity Church. So I was raised Catholic. I had just gone to a Catholic university. So I was kind of trained to look up when you're having a hard time. And I sat on the church steps and I cried so hard because I hated my job so much. And I felt like I was going to bring shame on my family if I quit. Because again, what the hell am I going to do? Go back to bartending and waiting tables? And so I did the one thing that I was told to do at that moment, which was call your father. And I took out my flip phone, which tells you that it is 1998. And so I'm doing the ugly cry with my dad on the phone. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like you and mom worked so hard to put me through college and I just want to quit. And I'm trying so hard. And I don't know what to do. And like in between all my ugly cries, my dad interrupted me. He was like, Ree, you've been working since you were 9 years old. You've been babysitting. I'm not worried about you keeping a roof over your head, but here's the secret to life. You have to find something that you love to do because you're going to be working for the next 40, 50 years. And once you find something you love, it's not going to feel this way. It's like, I don't know how to tell you that, but if you need to leave this job because it's making you this sick that you're running out and crying on the church steps in the middle of the workday, you got to go.